Alright, how's it going, guys? Ace here, and this is actually just a quick world that I put together for you folks so that those of you who are afraid of Redstone don't have to be afraid anymore. Alright, so I'm basically just going to be going over some Redstone basics to kind of help you out so you can use Redstone in your own world. So the first thing I do want to go over with you guys is input. Real basic, we have our lever, which as you can see is just you just right click on it and it turns on power. We have the redstone lamp here in this case, because it's easy to see. And we also have some buttons. You can see that was a little long there. This one's actually a little shorter because it's a stone button. The wood buttons go a little bit longer, and that's the same for the pressure plates too, but they also have some other properties I'll go over in just a moment. We also have the tripwire hooks, which you have to connect using string. It doesn't have to be only one block, you can make it longer, but it actually will power both this block and this block here, so you can see we have power to both of our redstone lamps there. We also have the observers, which will detect when when blocks are changing in front of them. So if a block is placed or removed, you can see that's placed. We can see right there that was placed and it was removed. And we can also use bone meal on it. So as it grows through each stage, it'll actually detect that too, which is pretty neat. Now, when it comes to these pressure plates here, I'm going to start off with just doing this. Okay, so we have 15. We have 15 blocks long. It's 15 power. Oops. Little too. Let's try it from over here. There we go. You can see there's only a power of 1. However, if I do happen to throw some more on here, maybe throw some other items, you can see we got some more power there. But you're going to be a little more hard-pressed here. Even if I stand here, it's 1 power, just like this one. But if I do throw, let's say this whole stack here, throw that, throw that, throw that, throw that, we're still only at 1. Now you can get it higher. I'm going to try to get some more. There we go. Now we're finally up to 2 after all of that. And the easiest way to remember that is because gold is going to be heavier by default. So because gold is heavier, you're going to be able to get heavier pressure on there without as many items being on top of there. Now with the stone though, stone doesn't matter how many you throw on here, it's not going to care. However, if a mob does walk on it, it will always give a 15. So do remember the differences there. You can actually use that to your advantage. And then we also have this right here, which is our daylight sensor. Now, right now, it is not completely daytime, so you can see there's still a couple of blocks there that are not lit. Now the sun's a little higher. You can see that they are. You can also, let's see here, now that it's nighttime here, we're not getting any power, but if we do right-click this, we can put it into night mode, and now it's going based off of the fact that it's dark above it. It's getting a little bit of light from here, so it's not going to be fully powered, but yeah, you can use that to your advantage here. So we have this light right here that's actually turned on because this is in the invert mode. If we right-click that, it turns it on and off. can make street lamps, you can make desk lamps. It's a good thing. Alright, let's go ahead and make it back to day. Now, next thing I do want to go over here is the droppers versus hoppers. So right here we have the dropper. And then right here we have droppers versus dispensers. Hoppers over here. So we have the dropper, we have a dispenser, and here's going to be the difference. This will actually use certain items. This will just spit out items as themselves. So if I hit this button sometimes here, oh, have it first try. We got ourselves a little baby chicken because it actually used up the egg rather than just spitting out the egg as an item. Now the dispenser here, we do have snowballs. We have the eggs twice in a row. We have the fire chart, or the flint and steel. This was actually supposed to be a splash potion, so yeah, let's just grab an instant health. We'll throw that in there. You can see it's just spit right out. Bone meal also works, so if I grab that, you can see. You can also do boats and minecarts. So if you have the track here, minecart will spit out. If you happen to have a boat here and you have water in front, the boat will spit out there. That I'm going to skip for now. Bucket of water, which is now empty. If you hit it again, it'll actually grab the water in front of it. And same goes for lava. Eggs will also work. If you happen to be in creative or happen to get something special on a server there. Arrows will also work, so you can see they can spit out there. And also the arrow of harming, or whatever tipped arrow you want to use, will work as well. Alright, on to hoppers. Hoppers are interesting. They'll grab any items that's actually thrown on top of them, so if I just stick that there and throw some items on top, you can see they kind of got pulled into there. But they'll also grab items from chests, shulker boxes, dispensers, droppers, anything that can hold an item except for ender chests. Ender chests are different because they don't hold an actual a world inventory, they hold player inventory. But yeah, let's say I got some items here. You're going to see they go straight down into this hopper, but if I put them in here, you'll see there's only one item here. If I grab it, it's because they're actually feeding into here, and you just can't see the actual movement there. And the reason for that is because it's kind of sticking into there. Now if I grab some sandstone here, you'll see if I put the hopper against the sandstone there, it actually kind of elbows there. If you do it against a chest or against another hopper, you have to hold shift, because otherwise you're going to open up the inventory, open up the chest. So you just do that, and it'll poke in. One other neat thing here, you'll notice I got some bone meal up in the top there, and this is turned on. You can see the little redstone particles there. If I turn that off, it'll actually start grabbing those bone meals there. So that's another thing about hoppers, that you can actually turn them off by powering them. Next item here is the comparator, which basically just compares signals. There's a couple of things that it can actually read signals off of. Cakes are one of them. Also, item frames. If you have an item in an item frame, you can see right there it's the lowest power, and as I turn it up, It'll slowly keep going until it actually reaches this repeater. Repeaters will always give a 15 power, though, so you'll get 15 lines of redstone worth of power from one repeater. One other thing about repeaters is they do have a 1-tick delay by default, but if you see here, these all go off at once. But this one's at 1. Let's set that one to 2. This one will be 3, and then this one will be 4. And you'll see the difference here. They kind of go in a row there. So yeah, definitely use that to your advantage if you need to make sure that timings are correct there. Back on the comparator though, what we have here is known as a delay, Redstone signal extender. Yeah, my brain's in a bit of a fog right now, I'm sorry. Okay, so we turn this on, and that's completely fine. If we unpower it, you'll see that it slowly turns off. And the reason for that is because we have the 1 power here, which will come to here, delay for 1 tick, and it'll send that same signal here, so that's 15, and then 1 over becomes 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 13, and so forth. Comparators also have 2 different modes. We have the regular mode, which basically compares, is this amount more than this amount? So if I drop a bunch of items out of here, there we go. You can see even though we got some items in there, so it should be reading that we got some items in there. It's not powering because we got more items sitting over here in this chest. However, we also have subtract mode, which basically says, okay, well, I'm going to read how much is in here, subtract this one, and we'll go from there. So let's throw some more items in there. Oops. Wrong button. So you can see we got some power here. If I take some items out of here, it'll actually extend the signal a bit. So you can use that to your advantage for like certain circuits, like usually for security, things like that. If you need to compare 2 different things and actually have a specific output, if it's too much, it does another thing, things like that. Back on the repeaters, we also have what's called the locking mechanism. Basically, if you run a repeater into the side of another repeater, you can lock its current state. So like, let's say we have it powered. Now we can't unpower it. However, if it's powered off and we lock it, we can't power it on. So that's pretty neat there. Speaking of the piston though, we got 2 different types of pistons. We got the regular and we got the sticky. Now with sticky pistons, you can see they kind of stick to things. It doesn't have to be that, it can be that. However, if it's a regular piston, if we retract it, it doesn't bring the block back with it. Now we also have, let's see here, that's supposed to be right here. Certain blocks do not work with pistons or sticky pistons. Right here we have the glazed terracotta, which you'll see will operate just as if it were a normal piston here. But also, it all but also it will not operate with the slime blocks. So if I grab a slime block here, as you saw, I had one on there earlier, and go ahead and stick that there. So yeah, nothing should be sticking to it. There's no reason for anything to stick to it and prevent it from moving along. You'll see the sandstone moves along with the slime block, but these don't. Now this is something that differs between Java and Bedrock. You'll see if I hit this button, it doesn't do anything. However, if you are on Bedrock, you can actually move chests, which is actually pretty neat. I'm not sure if you can move furnaces on Bedrock or not, but you cannot do that on Java. You obviously cannot move the obsidian here. However, one thing you can move is redstone blocks, and redstone blocks can be used to also power things, just as redstone torch, and just like these levers here. However, redstone torches, if you try to push them, they'll just simply break. That is also true for regular torches, I believe carpets. There's a whole ton of things that'll actually break if you try to push them. Now, one really neat feature about the redstone torch is if they are attached to a block that gets powered, like in this case here, this block's being powered, they'll actually turn off. Basically, they're kind of short-circuiting. Or that's the best way I can kind of describe it. But yeah, in this case, we have a redstone torch, which is powering this block, so this is powered off. So this block right here is not being powered by this. So we have the redstone torch on here that's completely fine, powering this block, which turns that off. If we do power this block, you'll see that this actually turns off, because this is no longer powered. That redstone torch can now be powered, powering this one, and so forth. So you can make some vertical signals that way. Now, one last thing I do want to go over is the note blocks. So we got the we kind of got the pinging there. That's the piano or harpsichord. We got the bass. We got the snare. We got the tap. We got the drums. Now, if you're on Bedrock, you don't get these. Legacy console, you do, but on Bedrock you don't. So my apologies for those on Bedrock. But we also have the clay, which makes the flute. We have the chime. We got the bell. We got the guitar, and we got the xylophone. And of course, if we power any of these, so yeah, you can make some pretty neat sounds with these. Make some pretty neat songs. And we also got one other sound that is not being used by any of the note blocks, but apparently is intended to be, and that is the pling. And you can see it's a note block note, but the note's not used at all. But if you do want to use it, this is the basic command that you want to use. It's play sound, and then right here in Minecraft, block.note, block.pling, and then just make it block. You can make it play to a certain player, or whoever the nearest player is, or play to all players. You can make it play at a specific coordinate, which usually the tilde is its current location. Right here, this is the this is actually the volume, and then pitch, and then you can do minimum volume too, so any players have to hear it. But this pitch I have set to 1. This one I have set to 1.2, this one I have set to 1.6. Highest you can go is 2.0. But if I hit this little button here, it's a pretty neat sound. So hopefully we get to have that added in to Minecraft as an actual note block sound rather than having to use command blocks. But yeah, there's something a little neat for you. But I hope that this has been enlightening. If you have any questions about how any of this redstone works, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I'll do my best to try and answer that for you. But yeah, this has been Ace, and if you liked the video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, and peace.